And welcome back to the hot stage, rally fans. We are talking WRC Greece is now very much in their history book, and a certain Ott Tanak had probably one of the best rallies of his career in terms of dominance. It was absolutely amazing. Who was going to stop him? Well, I can tell you, absolutely no one. So let's get into the results. And of course, our winners and losers. So, congratulations to Ott Tanak. And obviously, Martin Yevoja. I can never get these names right. But what an absolutely stunning performance. I've always said it. When he's not making mistakes, he's the fastest, I think, rally driver out there. Even Mr. Seb Ogier in the Toyota couldn't catch him. Yes, the Toyota. Because this is the first time Toyota have been defeated in the WRC this year, which is absolutely amazing because it feels like we're kind of halfway through. Not particularly good at all. But now here are the results. Ott Tanak wins by 32.8 seconds on Sebastian Ogier. And then we've got Adrian Formeau. 3 minutes and 9 seconds down. That's absolutely insane, isn't it? Next up, 3 minutes and 21 seconds down just off the podium is Elvin Evans. Then you've got to go to 6 minutes down to have a look at Terry Neuville. And then Josh McLaren is 16 minutes down. 19 minutes down, plus 19 is Martin Seix. Calais Rovanperä, obviously, you know, they all had problems, including all of M Sport, which was kind of sad. Yeah, not great. I mean, retired Gregor Monster. Jourdain retired because he particularly wasn't feeling very well. It was all a bit not particularly great. Now, in terms of WRC, congratulations to Oli Solberg, Gus Greensmith second, Johan Russell in third. When we're looking at WRC Super Sunday, it was Seb Ogier that won, Ott Tanak in second, 10.8 seconds behind. Elvin Evans not doing a bad job in third, 37.5 down. And the rest were, well, let's be fair, over a minute down on that. The power stage, again, it was Seb Ogier, Calais Rovanperä and Terry Neuville. Evans ended up finishing fourth in that power stage. WRC Championship points, we'll get into that most in a sec. Wow. Well, this was part of the Greece rally, and this was absolutely one of the Hyundai drivers absolutely sending it. Not too bad at all. Now, I'm assuming at some point we are going to. No, we're not. Completely ignore that. We'll have to look at that. But I just wanted to say congratulations to Oliver Solberg, who did an absolutely stellar job to win that rally. Now, this is the WRC drivers standings. This is what I was looking for. From AG Rally. So Evans on 150. It is getting close now, isn't it? 141 from Seb Ogier. Tanak on 138. Fourth is Rovanperä on 117. And Neuville on 96. Katsuta 63. Formeau 61. Piari 32. Monster 18. McLaren 12. That's your top 10. M Sport doing so. Now they've lost Formeau. They're doing absolutely terrible, aren't they? So let's get into our driver rankings, shall we? So, driver rankings worst till best, as we normally do. And one of the worst drivers, and I think they're kind of equal worst. But I'm putting this guy at the bottom because we were most shocked by him. Yeah, it is this guy here. It is Calais Rovanperä. How the mighty has fallen. I just don't get it. So by his standards, this was another absolutely massive below average performance from Calais. It wasn't even average Calais. He struggled to find any real pace. How much can we really blame the tyres? I think the tyres are a lot of it. And he even said himself he was a bit knackered at the end of that rally. So he likes to live life to the full. And his part-time season he did last year was more impressive than his full-time season this year. And this is worrying. I mean, he seems to be stuck into a rut that will never end. So yeah, I just hope he gets better. I really do. So next up, we have Takamata Katsuta. Again, not a particularly good weekend. It was all going quite well, wasn't it, at one point? And then Classic Taka struck. His number one objective of the season is to stop these mistakes, which is what the number one thing he seems to be doing this season. It was a small mistake, granted, but it was still a mistake that cost him and cost Toyota. Thank goodness they've got other drivers in the Toyota team, and they're not relying on Taka, because that is very unfortunate. Next up, we have a certain M Sport driver by the name of Josh McLaren. So stutters in recent rallies. He's stalled. He's kind of stalled. He had a steady progress, and he was looking good at the beginning of the season. Another mistake, very similar, almost like a copy and paste to the one in Sardinia. And is he becoming the Taka of M Sport? We know he can do well. He did complete every stage, in spite of, I think, some niggling technical issues. But for this guy, yeah, not good enough, I think. And I think M Sport would absolutely know that as well. Next up, the man. I mean, he really needs to rediscover his brilliance. We were at Poland and Latvia last year, and he was amazing. But what has happened to Martin Cesc? It seems, it appears to be a very different Martin Cesc we have now. Wake up. I mean, there are massive levels of expectation, and I honestly thought going into the season, when I realised that he was having a number of rallies and in succession, I thought, wow, this guy's going to be amazing. He's going to destroy the other two M Sport drivers, and no one, and they're going to have to sign him. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Is he blowing his big chance? Possibly, but there's a couple to a few more rallies left. They are fast gravel rallies as well, which is his speciality. But even if he does really well in them, I think M Sport are going to be slightly concerned as to he hasn't done or set the world alight in the other rallies. And I do think they're going to be most certainly raising one eyebrow. So we have the Hyundai driver of the current champion, the defending champion, Terry Neuville, who is not done great. He did okay. It was a decent performance. It was better than some of his other performances. But having said that, he's arguably one of the most unlucky drivers this year, is Neuville. So he had a decent haul of points. And it is kind of what he needed. I think it will give him some confidence. Evans, though, is continuing to pick up points, and Tanak is making Neuville look like a rookie at times. So, again, is it down to the tyres? It may well be. These Hankook tyres, that I think they've really helped Elvin Evans. They're not helping some other people. Maybe the Hyundai is just not quite compatible. So next up, fairly considering that we were kind of like slagging him off in our preview, he looked comfortable-ish on Friday. He had that fuel tank issue, and yeah, I kind of like a bit of bad luck because he was looking not too bad. So that's why we've put him there. But once again, kind of like Cesc, we expected more from him. He's not exactly setting the world alight, and I can't believe I'm putting Monster this high up. It was cruelly stopped, wasn't he? By a worrying, by this fuel tank issue. But him and M Sport adopted a. Now I'm going to read directly from Dirtfish here, which I think is quite interesting. Monster and M Sport adopted a risk mitigation strategy that was clearly a little frustrating at times for a driver whose natural instincts were challenged to the need to drive more slowly than perhaps he was capable of. A top 5 finish, they were saying, was very much on the cards, and he deserves credit for his ability to strategize and execute a plan that was at times counterintuitive. He was under pressure, and he didn't do too bad. So credit where credit's due. I think well done, Monster. And now we're getting to the top echelons, and Adrian Formeau, another guy that we said really needed a decent rally for Greece, and a decent rally I think he had. He didn't do. I don't think he did too bad at all. Returned to the podium, which was brilliant. There were margins of both Formeau fantastic and Formeau from this year where he was looking like, could he win the rally? Could he challenge? And then a few mistakes and just not being fast. We know he's quick. We know he's brave. He makes too many mistakes, though. But he did look like a different rally driver here, if I'm honest. So I think, yeah, he's looking up. Next up, the man arguably, in terms of the championship, under the most pressure. Yeah, he hasn't won a rally for a while, but let's be fair, I think he only won one rally last year. But a solid performance, if not great, from Elvin Evans. Decent haul of points. And obviously, starting on the road, he's always going to have that disadvantage. And it must be really, really frustrating for this guy. He's come into these 3 gravel rallies, arguably in the best form of his life. This year, he's driving the best we have seen Evans. But it was never going to be possible, I think, to do his, to win the rally, given it. And I think sometimes he knows that. Now, where Evans in the past would have maybe pushed until a mistake, we are seeing a much more mature Elvin Evans in relation to that, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. So the top two, we've got Seb Ogier. What more can you say? Yes, he didn't win it, but he showed everyone else, apart from Tanak, how good this guy really is, and that potentially he could. There is, on a full-time basis, I know he crumbled last year, but there is there's another world championship in this guy. He was second on the road on Friday, where 5 of the 6 stages were basically single pass, and he. To be honest, you thought, okay, second on the road, he's still kind of like a 0.5 cleaner, but he did really well. I think he did, yeah. I think in spite of where a lot of the time his road position was, finishing with, just shy of 30 seconds, being, under 40, behind what was a steaming tank of Tanak wasn't too bad at all. And I think he can be really proud, and Toyota must be, thanking him. Because otherwise they may have looked a bit embarrassed. But the man of the moment is Ott Tanak. Absolutely fantastic. Faultless. I mean, even Dirtfish has him 10 out of 10. And they put out a faultless drive. Super impressive performance in Greece. That has Tanak fans everywhere daring to believe this could be his year. And I think when you look at how close that championship is, absolutely, it could be his year. It was not reckless. He was throwing everything at it, but not in a reckless Ott Tanak way, where you think, oh, God, the next corner he's going to be off. No. He was there. He took the risks, he managed the risks, and in spite of the fact that it nearly went very badly right at the end, it didn't. So I just wanted to say a massive congratulations to Ott Tanak. Easily the best rally of the year, and I do feel that Elvin Evans is probably going to be a bit worried now looking at that, and the points all. So, and in terms of the points all, let's have a look at it. It's just 9 points between Evans and Ogier, and just 12 points between Evans and Tanak. The pressure is mounting, isn't it, as we're going into the next rally. Anyway, if you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That'll be absolutely fantastic. That'll give us a massive smile. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button. But until then, we'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much, and stay safe.